Donald Trump holding a rally today in Florida. Hillary Clinton's most recent rally was a week ago, and she has not held an official presser in nearly 9 months. Critics point out that she has found time to hold $33,000 per plate dinners, fundraisers with celebrities such as Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Former senior advisor to President George W. Bush, Karl Rove, is with me now. Good to see you, Karl. The number of fundraising events each candidate has held since the end of the primary season is here. So we're going to pull them up on screen so everybody follows. Since the end of the primary season, Hillary Clinton has held 90, Trump has held 34. What does the bigger Democratic money war chest mean for November?
Well, what it means is that so far the Clinton campaign has either run or reserved time for about $150 million worth of television advertising, and the super PAC supporting her, Priorities USA, has run or reserved $43 million in time. So roughly $200 million worth of advertising, virtually all of it in the battleground states. Donald Trump, by comparison, last Friday placed his first buy, which totals $5 million. So there's a 40-to-1 discrepancy between the amount of television that is being run in battleground states on behalf of Clinton versus the television that's being run on behalf of Donald Trump. By comparison, there have been more negative ads about Marco Rubio than there have been about Hillary Clinton.
Karl, as far as strategy, does it matter? Because Donald Trump works well with the media. He makes himself available to the media. He engages directly, as maybe some on his campaign would say, either for better or worse on Twitter. And Hillary Clinton is a much more managed candidate. Do you agree with that?
Well, I agree with that, but that doesn't deal with the question of what's the impact of $200 million worth of unanswered television, and the answer to that is that if you have $200 million worth of advertising in battleground states, that is probably a reason why states like Colorado are now considered out of play and Virginia out of play, and while Pennsylvania, which is absolutely critical to Trump's chances for the presidency, he now trails in virtually every poll by 10 to 12 points because he gets to be one place at one time, and he dominates the local media when he's there. He gets some national coverage, but every day persistently since May, she has been present in on the television sets in those battleground states with programming, with ads directed towards target audiences, and it's had an effect. Think about it. The national poll showed that this race is 3, 4, 5 points. But if you take a look at the battleground states, if this race is 4 or 5 points nationwide, then Florida should be 1 or 2 points. It's not. If the national race is 4 or 5 points, Ohio should be closer than 2 or 3 points.
So,
and I think it's had an impact, no doubt about it.
So you've said it's had an impact. Are you sincerely concerned about his chances then in November, because you just referenced some really key swing states?
Yeah, well, look, I put this in my Monday FoxNews.com posting. I think this discrepancy, 40-to-1, is really critical. Somebody has to get in. He has to in my opinion, advocate for him, and others need to get in to draw her negatives back up. What has happened since the 1st of July, there's been a little bit of a change in the ballot. If the Real Clear Politics average, she's gained 2.4% in the ballot. He's gained 1.7, so her lead has widened by 0.7%. That's not a lot since the 1st of July. Now, of course, it's gone back and forth. It's not a straight line between then and now, but we're roughly in the same place that we were, slightly better for her. However, if you look inside the numbers, her favorables have improved pretty dramatically, and her unfavorables have declined, and that generally presages a future movement of the ballot. And I think the reason is not the conventions. I think it is a persistent application of $200 million worth of advertising that is having an impact on his standing versus hers.
Well, it is a money war. Let me ask you about this. Speaking of money spent, the campaign for Clinton released this new TV ad blasting Trump for outsourcing his clothing line. Here it is.
This factory has been here since 1883. We have over 60 people here making shirts labeled Made in America. But Donald Trump's brand of shirts come from China.
So, Karl, this is exactly what you're talking about. And Hillary Clinton today had a $50,000 per ticket fundraiser hosted by Apple CEO Tim Cook, whom Donald Trump has accused of being the ultimate exporter or the ultimate person who is making, let's say, phones overseas. Apple iPhone, we know, Foxconn based in China. Trump and others have criticized Apple for allowing deplorable working conditions, even if they are overseas. Suicide nets are installed. People can see them on our screens right now. 2 deaths as recently as last week. So even if Hillary Clinton is being hypocritical, to your point, she's the one running the ads. So
yeah,
will
look,
Donald Trump respond in like?
Well, I hope he does. But look, here's the deal. Think about this. This is the second ad on this topic. She began running an ad on August 3rd that had Donald Trump on the Letterman show, where Letterman confronts him about his shirts and ties being made in China. So that was the first ad. This is the second ad. We're likely to see a third ad on it. And again, we'll have a one-day story about the fact that she's being hosted by Tim Cook of Apple, where Apple has outsourced a great deal of the manufacturing of their iPhones and other devices to factories in China. They design them here in the U.S., but they build them over there. That'll be a one-day story. But we are now on the 24th of August, so we've had 21 days of advertising, again, concentrated in the battleground states. If you live in Texas or California and New York, you don't see this. But if you live in Florida or Ohio or Pennsylvania or Iowa or Nevada or North Carolina, you're seeing these ads, and they've been up for 21 days, hitting him exactly on this. So we're going to talk about Hillary having a hypocritical look. She's in favor of trade. She's been in favor of trade agreements. She believes in trade. But that's going to get drowned out by the fact that she's got 21 days worth of advertising with weeks more to come, and he gets to make the argument one time in one speech, and that's it.
Karl Rove, thank you as always for your insights.
You bet.